I'm going to start this off with saying parenting's hard, but it's really not hard because I probably put more effort into parenting than I do anything else that I do. Um, Last night I had an interesting conversation with my son Cole, and it was about like groups in school because things change like from elementary school to junior high. I mean, obviously the kids are changing, the structure's changed, everything else has changed for them. And we talked about, you know, some people are in with the cool kids, like that's still a thing. Um, they were popular kids when I was in school. Um, I think junior high was a weird time for me too. Like I remember it was a super weird time. I changed because one of the kids that moved into my neighborhood, his name's Tommy, and Tommy came from a broken home. His mom and dad were divorced. His mom worked all the time. I think his dad was an alcoholic. His brother James had just got out of rehab, and like things have really changed, but that's who was in my neighborhood. So I was good friends with Tommy. Tommy had my back and I had his, even though we were way different. Last time I looked up Tommy's in prison for aggravated assault. This is a kid from Carrollton. Tommy, it was rough for Tommy. He had no supervision, no guidelines. It was super hard for Tommy. Did Tommy's parents fail him? Did the system fail him? What failed Tommy? I don't know. But negative attention is still attention. And so when you're not getting attention from your parents, you're going to seek that negative attention. As Nicole and I were on our walk this morning, we were talking about her conversations with Joe Pouncey versus my conversations with Joe Pouncey. Way different spectrums, way different. In seventh grade, I wasn't a cool kid. I definitely was not a cool kid. I was the problem child. I was a bully, and I bullied because my home life, they didn't pay it. I don't think they paid attention to me. I know my mom's gonna beg to differ, but everybody has their own point of view. Sorry, Mama, I love you with all my heart. I know you did the best that you could, but I didn't have much of a structure. Both my parents worked. I walked home from school by myself from fourth grade on. And so I had a lot of free time. And fourth grade was with my friend Ronnie Rule, to where we became pretty much little misfits because, we were unsupervised and there was no structure. It's really sad. And then in seventh and eighth grade, for some reason, I became a bully. I did. I remember one instance, there was a kid, he's now a police officer in Carrollton where we grew up. And, I bullied this kid. His name is Officer Alcorn. I bullied him and had to get SWATs. Back in my day, they gave SWATs. And I had to go for a week because the limit was 3. So I went every day after lunch to get my 3 SWATs because it was a total of 15 for what I did. And I truly regret that. And there's kids out there, I don't even know their names, but I know I bullied them and I feel terrible about it. And it still replays in my mind. And when I'm talking so we have Mormon missionaries. I'm not Mormon, but we have Mormon missionaries that come to the house. And like, when I think about some of the stuff I did as a child, like these are the things that I regret and wish I could take back. I'm trying to think of a way to teach my son, who's ultra big. He's got a super kind heart and he has structure. I'm here for him. I coach the baseball team. But even yesterday at baseball, like it was kind of, they were talking about different races and whatnot. And, I hope that I'm here to mentor those kids too and teach them that, hey, we're all mutts. So I pulled out my DNA ancestry and explained to them that, hey, I'm a mutt. Odds are you're probably a mutt. So we should all get along because we're all mixed anyway. There's no sense in bullying somebody because they're such and such or such and such. Because you know what? I'm 3% such and such or whatever. We're all mutts. We're all in it together. But going back to the cool kids, it's weird how they congregate together. I was never a cool kid. Luckily, in 8th grade, I became friends with one of the cool kids. I'm not sure why. My friend Ryan Schultz, and I became friends. I don't know how that happened, but Ryan was one of the quote unquote cool kids or popular kids. Ryan and I are still friends, and Lance Schultz, we're still friends, but they were part of the cool kids when I was part of the outcast. We became friends at some point, and I did dress better. I quit wearing my Iron Maiden shirts and whatever shirts I was wearing, concert tees, and dressing up, which it made it easier because the teachers look at you different too. Other adults look at you different when you just dress differently. It's the same devilish inside that I had, but just dressing different and being with a certain group. But I don't know how to teach Cole, because it is okay to be different. I was different. I questioned stuff. I didn't follow the crowd. I didn't follow the rules sometimes. But trying to teach these kids that, hey, it's okay to be different. You don't have to be like everybody else. And sometimes it's just a hard lesson to teach, that it's okay to be different, because it is. Like, if you were the same as everybody else, how boring would this country be? If everybody was exactly the same, how boring. When I was married, I had to play like I was like everybody else, even though on the inside I was fighting to get out. It was terrible, and it took me a year to come back to being me, to where, you know what, I don't want to be like everybody else. I truly do not. I don't want to follow just to follow. If I follow you, I still have the ability to question you, or hey, does this person really do the right thing? It's not just because so-and-so said to do something that it's okay. So, I don't know. I'm going to come up with a way to teach them that it's okay 100% to be different and not to do what everybody else does, and to think on your own and be a free thinker and think deeper than just the surface, because sometimes the surface is full of lies and full of just fakeness. I don't want my kids to be fake ever. I want them to be real. I want them to be able to voice their opinion and back up their opinion with actual factual data. So I'm trying to teach how to be okay with being in a group. You're on a team, but at the same time, be an individual. Don't be like everybody else. Be different. It's okay to be different. And if the people that are around you treat you different because you're different, well, that's okay. That's just not your people. That's not your friends. And you know what? More than likely, they're not intelligent people, because they don't have the ability to think of their own or to question anything that ever goes on, because they're just following that mainstream crowd, because they might have been part of the cool kids. I'm Bo Rogers. I'm trying to learn and to be the best parent I can be, and help other kids along the way. Not just my kids, but maybe your kids, or anybody that I can help or teach or mentor. I'd be happy to do that, because, let's give them something that you never got. Let's give back from your experiences through life to make their lives a little bit better. And if there's anything I can do to do that, I'm going to do that. I love y'all. I'm out.